last December.
December. So in that time, I think you've only done a couple of live things, haven't you?
Oh, we did one tour.
No, we've been touring solidly since then.
Come on, I
Up
was
till
told
May.
you did 2 in June.
No,
and
no.
then go back before that.
No.
Where have you been touring then?
Oh, at New Zealand. Done about 4 or 5 open air concerts.
Here in Australia, I mean.
Well, we've everywhere. Melbourne,
Yeah?
Perth. Yeah.
And you're just about to start another one. Then how long did you have a break? It seems to me that you've been off the road for a long, long time.
I've been off the road now since May, apart from those 2 concerts.
3 months. So what do you do in that time when you go off the road? Is it to write material, or is it just to take a break and have a nice rest? Where do you go?
We just stayed at home, took it easy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And you don't like to play a lot of instruments on stage, do you, Steve? So you write, though. You write songs.
Yeah.
So how do you write? Do you write with a piano, guitar?
I try and write with everything, all instruments, and then you can sort of come up with different sounding
It'll give you a
songs
different
on
feel.
different
Right.
instruments. Like a song you write on a piano is different to usually the song you write on a guitar.
You wouldn't necessarily get a good rock song out of a piano normally, would you?
No, they're better for ballads because you sort of get the descending chord progressions and things with the bass.
There's more feeling.
Yeah, but often I just turn on the drum machine and sort of jam along with it, you know, sooner or later something's bound to turn
Yeah.
up.
And you write also now with another member of the group. Like initially you were the basic writer, weren't you? But now it's
No,
Is that correct?
no. Martin and I wrote a song on the first album together, and Martin and I wrote a song on the second album, and we all collaborated on 2 songs on the second album. The band collaborated on a song on the third album. So there's always a bit of their participation.
You're the mystery guy, really. And
Not really.
Excuse me for leaving you out here for a sec, Rich.
I love mysteries.
Yeah, but Steve, you really haven't made that many television appearances, have you?
Oh, yeah.
How many?
I've been on here, I was on Sounds a couple of times, yeah.
Very, very early in the
Couple
piece.
of times, early on, yeah.
Yeah, is there something you've got against going on telly?
No, I just thought it was time to do it before we went on tour.
Uh-huh. Now this tour starts off in the country. Why do you do that? Why not start off in one of the major cities?
Oh, well, you've got to warm up a bit first,
Yeah.
you know. So go out to the country for a while and then come back to the city after you've warmed up a bit.
So whereabouts will you start?
Northern New South Wales was starting first.
It's pretty bloody cold up there at this time of the year.
Well,
You're going to warm up.
Bit warmer.
In other words, you just
Down here.
you oil the band up
Yep.
after having a break.
We're kicking off in a big
That's
way at the
right.
Grafton Leagues Club.
Uh-huh.
You little
South
beauty.
Grafton Leagues
That's
Club,
next
yeah.
week.
That's next week, yeah.
Who's the tour manager on that?
Michael
We'll
Chugg.
give him a
Michael
place.
Chugg.
Chuggy's been on this show a couple of times.
Yeah.
Big M.
And that's sort of like going back in his career, isn't it? Because he was doing a lot of tours years ago. And to him, it's probably a nice break to get away from the city.
Yeah,
What
get
do you-
away from his telephones.
Right. Yeah, his ears might hear.
Yeah.
And then you come to Sydney. I think it's the Tivoli on the 1st of September and the 2nd. You're doing 2 there.
Yeah.
Can I ask you this? The Tiv doesn't hold, like, well, it's not equal to, say, Salinas in capacity.
No.
Why not do a Salinas as an opener? Why do the Tiv? Why go for the smaller area?
Richard?
Oh, it's better, isn't it? You can get closer to your audience, I suppose.
Is that the only idea?
Yeah.
The only reason?
Well, I know it's a safe bet at first,
I
isn't
don't know.
it?
Right.
We're
See how
probably
many
not.
you can fill up with and
Yeah,
stuff.
we're not so big that probably all that many people come and see us at Salinas.
So you wouldn't
Right.
take... You
I'd rather
really
a
not
small
taking the
gig
punt.
anyway.
Yeah, we
you know,
like the
playing at
Tivoli. We really
Salinas.
like the Tivoli.
Yeah,
I think
it's a good
that's
room.
it's kind of like Sydney's showcase
Yeah.
or something.
Nicer sound there too, possibly, than most other, I won't say Salinas, but most other venues.
Hasn't
you
got
get a
that.
nice round, you're in the round almost, aren't you?
Yeah. It's more like a performance.
How did you find audiences? I think you're in Europe, well, last year you were, and some of the countries you really packed out places. I think, was it Sweden?
Sweden we did
And
very
Spain?
well.
You went well?
Spain we did very well.
Why do you think those countries work as opposed to some of the others you work better for you?
Actually, everywhere we played was fairly packed except Paris. When we played in London, we had very big crowds.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Where did you play London?
The venue, twice.
Right. Mm.
And we broke the house record there one night, didn't we?
Mm.
Which would be how many?
I don't know. I don't know how many. We have 1,000 there or something. It was the house record for that night.
Yeah. For the
Sorry,
Monday
for that night. It was a Monday night.
Oh, for
Right,
Monday.
Yeah.
I was going to say how many bands were on that night. And do you keep throwing the people in and out? So for a Monday night, you hold the house record at the venue in London.
Well, we
Well,
did it when we did it. Yeah.
What about, say, the audiences in Sweden? How were they? Were they over the
They
top?
were
Were they
good.
mad? Were they
They were,
sit back and listen? What sort of people?
no, they were pretty energetic crowds, you know.
Yeah.
They seemed to get into it and stuff, you know. Few people jumped on stage.
They did? Do you get a lot of that? You know, the old style of that hero worship thing.
I wouldn't say it's hero worship. People in Sweden and Germany especially sort of, I thought it was so improbable that they were seeing this Australian band playing the kind of music that we're doing, and they get extremely drunk and they just sort of go crazy.
Would you prefer to work to a drunk or straight audience?
Oh, whatever they prefer.
Are you still into, obviously early in the piece, there was a 60s feel about your music. Are you still influenced, or are you sort of brushing that influence away?
I don't know. I don't think about it in those kind of terms, really.
Uh-huh. If I was to ask you your favourite bands out of the 60s?
Out of the 60s, just the same ones everyone else likes.
Like?
Well, the Beatles and the Byrds and the
Yeah.
Beach Boys. All the groups begin with B.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And then you followed on with a group that began with C, I guess. Okay, you've got a new single out at the moment. We don't have the video of it, right?
No.
It's No Reason we'll go with. Then we'll have a look at the Undertones, and shortly we talk to the boys out of Mother Goose. So please don't leave us. Here at the church, quiet chaps, but very talented. Let's have a look at it.
It's out of this
planet.
This jungle
Right.
is sort of valid, and I almost think it's sort of preferable in some ways not to have a live band, because a live band just involves so many compromises.
Would it not mean, though, that over the years, and I mean, I'm only doing this because people have brought it to me, it's not my ex to grind or anything, but wouldn't it mean that eventually musicians will be out of work, because instead of needing thousands of musicians, you'll only need a couple, and they can go out and do these things for frontmen to go out and package and sell records?
Well, I think by the time that rolls around, I won't be worrying about that.
You're not going to worry at all, Stevie. All right. What about you, Rich?